Prompt engineering with Python and Pandas. Customizing GPT model with feedback loop. Welcome data leaders, automators, and Python learners to Insight Builder channel. The challenge at hand. A prompt that we provide to GPT 3.5 model needs to return customized text. What I mean by customized text? A regular text is like this. It's made of paragraphs and sentences and words. A customized text will have certain kind of formats and styles that we want to be implemented. Like the scenario one that you are seeing here, it is in bulleted format and the sentences are constrained to certain number of words or certain length. This particular scenario one needs to be achieved using this kind of a prompt. This is our task. How are we going to do that? What we are planning to do, the prompt engineering activity, is that we use the prompt skeleton. We create the prompt sentences from the prompt skeleton using Python. We build the prompt sentences using Python, and then we use the OpenAI API to create completions by submitting these sentences to the GPT model. You get the data and you take the data and you attach the prompt skeleton into a JSON file and then send it to GPT for creating a new model. Okay, this is the new model that we are going to create. This model is basically a clone or kind of a upgraded model of the original model. Okay, and this is what we are going to see. But before that, let me show you what exactly happens in the GUI. Let us first remove this, and I am going to use the regular text DaVinci model here, and I am going to submit this particular prompt. This is the prompt I am going to use. This is same like the skeleton that I showed in the presentation. Now I submit this, you will see a regular kind of a sentences. Okay, cancel. And you see there is a different kind of format here: project, objective, strategy, project, objective, strategy. However, I don't want this kind of a format. I want something which I have already modeled. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to keep it like this and I'm going to submit. Okay, this might actually create a problem. So let me remove this. I will paste it in my clipboard, and now let me submit. You will see that it directly creates, there is a gap here, and it directly creates the bulleted values. Just for comparison, now if you look at the earlier data, this is how the earlier data looked. This is how the earlier data from text DaVinci looked. Okay, this is how it looked, and now this is the one that we got from the model. How to achieve this kind of a modified format from the model directly? So that is the entire purpose of doing the prompt engineering. And this feedback loop is what we are going to follow. What we are going to do is we are going to use Python and Pandas extensively for getting this particular activity done as soon as possible. And you will be seeing the code in a couple of minutes. But before that, let me show you what are the parts. So I'll have a prompt example or the prompt skeleton. And then from this example, I have to create this sentence. And what I have to do is I have to create this skeleton and I have to create this prompt for at least 175 to 200 different options of year, place, idea 1 and idea 2. It can be idea 3, idea 4, and whatever you want, you can put it here. I'm just using this as a basic example. And this idea had been taken from David Shapiro's video. So I had learned it from there. But I felt that a further elaboration of how the things work will be much more useful to everybody. That is the reason why I had put up this video. I am actually going through the entire process here. So the same process that you saw here, I am explaining it here also. However, I am adding some additional data, like the number of prompts, examples you need to create, and how to create the completions, how to create the JSON file, and then you have to send it to the fine-tuning model at OpenAI. So the video has introduced right now till the strategy and the feedback loop, how you are going to implement. If you have any questions or comments, do leave it in my comment section. If you like the video, do leave a like and share it with others who are interested to learn about prompt engineering and developing their skills. Let us now go to the Jupyter notebook. This Jupyter notebook, you can access this entire notebook from the repo that you can see here. The repo that I have mentioned it in all the slides. You can go to this particular GitHub repo, and there you will see the repo called as Python. Just a minute. Let me go to the Net Explorer. That will be easier to show it to you rather than tell the name. Python inside builders and Python DE learners data. So this is where you will get the repo. You can download the repo and work on that. Inside the repo, you will find various other notebooks also, which is related to my other Python course that I am doing. You can use that also, but for this particular video, we are going to concentrate on chat-GPT_notebooks. Inside that, you need to go to fine-tuned_GPT's a visual tutorial. Click on this and it will open a new window. There, what we are going to do is, we are first going to import all the libraries. So if you are not aware of how to use Jupyter notebooks, or you are new to Python, you need to set up, you want to set up Python and learn about it, I will tag these basic videos for your benefit along with these videos, where you can refer it. And how to work with these libraries also, I have a separate list of videos that also will be there in the playlist. Kindly take a look at that. Here we are going to import the main players, OpenAI and JSON. We are going to use config parser to secure our API keys. This warnings is a support library. We are going to use UID, sleep and requests to work with OpenAI API endpoints. So let me import that. And this particular API data.config holds my API key of OpenAI. I don't want to share it with everybody, so I am hiding it through the config parser library. After using this library, now the API key as well as the API organization is actually assigned to this Python variable. After that, now comes the skeleton creation. What we are going to do is, we are going to create based on 4 locations. So I am going to create skeleton based on 4 locations: India, United States, Pakistan and Russia, years 2022, 24, 26, 28. And then ideas are power, ability, automation and danger. And idea 2 is government, education, society and spacefaring. These might look like totally unrelated ideas that I am trying to work with ChatGPT sentences, but that is how prompt engineering works. The major point is how varied the data you bring, the better the model will be able to learn and give you a best outcome. So ensure that the way you create the skeleton also depends on the topic that you are going to model. So here I am modeling something which is general. But if you are going to model anything which is specific to a particular book or a particular team in a company, or it could be a particular activity that you are planning to do, it could be a product that you are trying to launch, it could be multiple things that you can try to implement using this same kind of a skeleton. And I am implementing this, and once I execute this list will get attached to the assigned to these Python variables, places, years, idea 1 and idea 2. Then what I do is, I am going to just run a for loop on all the list. So I will do a for loop on places, for loop on year, ideas, and ideas 1 and ideas 2. You will see that this is actually a nested for loop. So this is the innermost loop. Okay. This innermost loop will loop 4 times. That is, it will loop on government, education, society, spacefaring. For every time this ideas 1 loops once. So one time idea will loop and this will loop 4 times. Second time idea will loop, this will loop 4 times. Third time idea will loop, this will loop 4 times. Like this, when I actually complete all this loops, I will actually get 256 numbers of prompts, this kind of a sentence. And this sentence has been created using the string literal here. So I use the F term here, and by using that, I have created the sentence. This is actually a prompt sentence. I have created the sentence where year is, I am using year is year. So this year will modify based on the year that is coming in the loop. And same way the place and the idea 1 and idea 2. Prompt list is created, prompt parts is created. So this is basically the skeleton that I am talking about. So let me check the number of list. You see that both are 256. You want to see how the prompt looks. So here is how the prompt looks. So you see this is the first prompt. So the year is 2022. The location is India. The elaborating idea 1 is power and idea 2 is government. And here, if you come to the next prompt, you see that this is the ID. And you see still the idea 1 is power, but idea 2 is education. So here the idea 2 is government, here the idea 2 is education, here the idea 2 is society. So like this keeps on changing. So you see here it is changing again. So like this, the prompt will be created. And how the skeleton looks. The skeleton will look exactly same like how we created the prompt here. The skeleton should look exactly like this. And you might be wondering, okay, what is this /n? /n is basically a new line character in computer science. So whenever you give this /n in your sentence, when you are going to place it inside the HTML document or any text document, the new line character will get executed and the text after the new line will come to the next line. So it's kind of a carriage return. This has to be known to you, then only you can execute this properly. Or else there are similarly, there is tab, there is the way to give a space by using spacebar. All these options are available. You need to take a look at that. Now we have seen how the prompt looks, and here is the function that is going to work to get the completion from the GPT 3.5 model. So what we are going to do is we are going to get the completion from DaVinci-002 model. Okay, this is the engine that we are going to use. For doing this, we are going to give to OpenAI our key, our organization, and we are going to use their regular response, regular completion.create method. We are going to use their method, and in the prompt we have to send this wait a minute, we have to send this prompt sentence. Okay, keep this in mind. When we are going to use it for generating the data, we have to send the prompt sentence in this place. And once we send this prompt sentence, it will actually return a response. Okay, that response is taken here. This text file is the response that we get from that, and that response we actually use that and create the dictionary. This is where we are creating the dictionary. Okay, all this might sound confusing right now. Okay, why am I doing all this? Let me go to the presentation. In the presentation, I told that I need to create the prompt sentence and I need to create the completion. But after I create the completion, I need to store it somewhere. For storing it, we are going to use dictionary. And after we store the dictionary, we have to then store it, we have to return it. So that is what the this activity is doing. So we get the text completion from OpenAI, we take the text reply and then we store it in a dictionary. But in the dictionary, we don't use the prompt sentence. We don't use this prompt. We use the prompt part. Okay, what happens is I have actually attached it separately so that it will be clear to you. Inside this function, I am going to use a variable called as outPrompt. This outPrompt is the prompt skeleton. The skeleton will look like this. The skeleton will look like this. So basically what we are going to tell to the DaVinci model, Let us go to the daunting model. When I am going to send the text data to this model, and I'm going to ask it to upgrade itself. That is what I'm going to do. And when I'm going to do that, I will send this prompt skeleton along with this kind of reply, this kind of response. And I will do like this for 100 or 200 times, 175 to 200 different data. I will send it to this model. After I send this to this model, it will generate me a new model called as new video gen model. So this is something that I created today. This is the entire process. Okay. And this process, we will be executing it using Python right now. So here I am checking this particular function, whether it is working. So in your case, if you give your organization key and your prompt should be proper, ensure that you change your prompt. And then here you need to give the file name, because the major point is that whatever data you are going to get from the OpenAI is going to cost you. Okay, it is always better that whatever data you get, you store it in the file first. So once I store the dictionary here, I am immediately storing that file, storing the data into my one of the local file. So that file is tutorial payload.jsonl. Okay, and then again I am returning it also. So you can do that. So you can take an object, you can write it to a file, and then you can return it. Python will be okay with that, and you can print it also. You can do whatever you want with the objects. So there is no doubt, no question. There will be some slowdown, but for that it's okay. You are actually learning right now. So it is better to understand each and every aspect of what is going on. Okay, in the production, might be we don't need these things. Actually in production, you will not use any of these things. You will be only using the model, right? Finally, coming to the once you execute this on first prompt, okay, it will return you the first reply. So the prompt will look like this. Okay, the prompt is the skeleton here. You saw that I have already changed it. If I have to look at the first prompt sentence, if you let me put it here also. If I go to the prompt list and if I go to the first sentence, the prompt sentence will look like this, but the prompt skeleton will look like this. And that is what we are going to attach it with the completion. This is how you have to create. If you attach it with this sentence, then you have to give the entire sentence in this place. In this place, you have to give the entire sentence, which is not efficient or the purpose of prompt engineering. You want to create a prompt which is concise. And let us come back to this. And then you can actually check the file also, the JSONL file. I am using Linux underlying system, so I'll be using !cat command to look at the JSON file. You see the reply, it is same as the dictionary that we have created here. And now we are going to loop over the prompt list. Okay, when I'm going to loop over the prompt list, you might be wondering, okay, the prompt list will only give the prompt sentence, but how to get the prompt skeleton from the prompt part? In case of Python, there is an option to use enumerate. So that will give me the index of the elements in the list. So once you use that index, we can use that index as the way to get the both prompt sentence as well as prompt parts data and send it to this GPT_completion function. That is how this function works. And after I do that, my tutorial.payload will look like this. It would have grown in number. The sentence would have increased. So I have included all the prompts here. So 5 prompts has come now. Once I get this file, then I use the OpenAI file.create method to upload my file. So this is the method to do that. I will be sharing, the function is already there in the Google, the Jupyter notebook. Use that and you can automatically use it, and you can check your file list also, what and all files you have updated. This method is where you are going to ask the GPT or OpenAI model to fine tune the model. Okay, so this is the API endpoint v1 fine-tunes. So this is the API endpoint if you want to understand how to get these details, you have to go to the playground and you can go to the documentation. If you click on documentation, you will get the place called as tutorials. And in the tutorials, it will explain everything, how to do the API reference. If you go to the API reference, come to completions, and in the completions, you will get all the necessary details like completions this. And also, yeah, you have to go to the fine tunes. If you go to the fine tunes, you will see create fine tune, list fine tune. You can see the API endpoints here, and also you can change it to Python, you can change it to Node.js. So currently OpenAI supports Python and JavaScript extensively. So this is how you get the details. You can go to the documentation and take a look also. There is extensive information on each and every parameters that you have to use. However, I am going to concentrate on getting the things done. Okay, so I am not explaining each and every parameter here, but you can actually get everything done using the current setup that is already coded here. And then you can check the fine-tune events that I have requested, and I can also get each and every model. All these functions you can use. First and foremost, we will upload our file, tutorial payload JSON. We will upload this. This file has to be uploaded, and we need to get this file ID. This file ID only can be seen by the OpenAI model creation function. Nothing else it can see. It will not see the file name. It will not see what kind of format you are given. Once you upload it here, the format will be checked when you upload it. If the format is wrong, if the format is not in JSON format, it will actually fail immediately. So if you are not going to use the format which is like this, prompt and then completion, and there should be a new line written. So you cannot have this prompt again start here. It will not work. It is not a JSON file. JSON file has to have each dictionary. This is one dictionary. Each dictionary should be in separate lines. Okay, ensure that you have this kind of format. Yeah, let me go back here. That is the reason why you see this new line written here. If you are wondering, okay, why did I make this new line here? Taker dot write with the new line. This new line is written to create the new line here in the file. Okay, so now you uploaded the file, you have got the file ID. Next, what you are going to do is you are ready for fine-tuning the model. Yeah, that's simple. You are ready for fine-tuning the model. All you need to do is give the file ID and give the suffix. This is going to be the name of your model. Please ensure that you give a good suffix. Like here I have given the tutorial generator because I am using it for showing in the tutorial. You can give the name along with the date or name along with the time and hour. So that is one of the easiest ways to differentiate the models. And then you have to give the API key. Once you do that, it will say that, okay, I have taken your data. So such a reply has to come. Such a reply comes like where it says, okay, this kind of created at should come, and the fine tune along with the ID should come. This ID is the most important thing about your model, because once you actually present it to the OpenAI system, it will take time to create the model. You have to wait for it. Okay, at least to my knowledge, it will take 5 to 7 minutes most of the time. And you can check what is happening in the model using fine-tune_event function. So if you use this, you can see, okay, whether the fine-tuning has been completed or not. And once it is completed, you will get a whole lot of information. Like the ID will be same, but it will actually start showing me what are the kind of processes that is going on. Okay, so it will tell me the batch size, it will tell me the epoch, and then it will tell me the learning multiplier. All these are model parameters. And then it will start telling me the compiled results. So this will create results internally in the OpenAI system and keep it there. And it will also show you how many epochs have been completed. So you can see epoch 1 of 4, epoch 2 of 4, 3 of 4, 4 of 4. So all this is getting completed. And then you see this message, fine-tune succeeded. Okay, why am I showing you all this data? What will happen is, In the future, you might want to create an automation where you don't want to look at any of these data itself. You want to create a test where you want to check whether the model has been succeeded, fine-tune has been succeeded. So all you need to do is execute this particular function, and from that reply, take this message and check the message. You can immediately conclude whether the fine-tuning has been completed or not. So that is the purpose of showing you all this data. Once you have done all this thing, what will happen is that you will get a new model. Okay, if you come here, if you scroll down this, in this model, you will see fine tunes, and in that you will get the new model, the tutorial generator. Okay, the tutorial generator which I have created uses only 5 lines. So the data which I will get it out will be very incorrect. So the best model I am currently using is new video gen model. So this is a model that I used almost 185 completions and prompts to create the model, and it took almost $5 to get the completions first and then create the fine tune. So both of this took me around $5 in cost. Now comes the important point. Okay, still we are not out of the river, so we are still in the river. Okay, I told you that we can directly send the file to all this models and start creating the fine-tuned model. But in reality, what will happen is, once you create the prompt, okay, all the prompts will not be perfect. Okay, so here I am showing you the prompt that I created for 256 variations. Once I create the prompt, I am going to store it inside the reply dictionary, and there will be 256 replies from this function. Okay, and I'm going to convert it into data frame. Data frame is a pandas object. If you are new to Python and pandas, I have a separate full intro video on pandas. Take a look at that. I have explained it from the perspective of challenge and solution pandas offers. So take a look at that. You will understand the benefits of using pandas. So here you see that I already have the entire data frame, and it is having 256 rows. So this is the prompt and this is the completion. And here what I am actually targeting is that I want to know which completions have maximum length. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to create a new separate row. Okay, why am I getting this? It is saying reply data frame not defined. This is happening because I have created a new file. This is a new file, and whatever data you are seeing here is actually a copy of my earlier run. So this data is no more available in this file. So this will happen pretty often when you are starting to work with Jupyter Notebook. So what I am going to do right now is I am going to enumerate this particular function again, but I am going to use only for just for your for showing the example. I am going to enumerate it for 5 prompts. Okay, let me enumerate it, and it will take a couple of seconds. Let me pause the video. Okay, the enumeration has been completed and I have got the replies. Let me see how many replies are there. So this dictionary holds 5 replies from the GPT model, and I am going to import pandas and I am going to check how the data frame looks. So this is how the data frame looks. So here you see the prompt and here you see the completion. And now I want to check the length of the completion. So here I see the length of the completion, and I see that there are various lengths like 400, 300, 200, 1500. So we need to try and get maximum number of tokens from the completion. In that way, we can use the best completion that you have got and get the new model. How to do that? So for that, what we are going to use is we are going to use this filter. So here I have taken a filter where the completion length is greater than 375. So anything above 375, any row that is above 375 will be my candidate for using it in the new model generation. So let me check the final data frame here. If you see that 322 and 283 are gone, only these values are there. So like this, when I am going to run all the 256 prompts and prompt sentences, I will have a lot of data and I can easily filter the best data. And then I will write the best data into the JSON file. So the final filtered file.jsonl, I will get that file. And then the filtered file will look very huge actually, because all the large data that I have collected it in one place. And then I upload that file and I will do the same process again. And that is how I got this model, new video generation model. So we have actually seen the entire process in 30 minutes. So this is what exactly happens. This is how the feedback loop works. So you start here, you go to this entire steps, and again you give the data back to the model. You take the data from the model, you give the data back to the model, and then get a new cloned model. This is the process of prompt engineering, and this is a strategy that we are following. And so we have come to the end of this video where you have seen the entire strategy of using prompt engineering to customize your text replies from the model. I hope you like this content, and if you have any questions or comments, do share it in my comment section. If you like this video, leave a like and do subscribe to my channel so that any updates, not only regarding ChatGPT models and AI models, I will be updating regarding the Python courses and data engineering courses also. So take a look at my playlists and my videos. You might find something which is more useful for you, and share it with others. That will be beneficial to others also. I hope that we will meet again, and till then, have a great time. See you.